How's it going, everybody? This is RBT coming at you with my Week 11 college football prediction video. Yes, sadly, it's already Week 11, and this football season's just going by so fast. And it has kind of sucked, though, because the last couple weeks there haven't been that many marquee games as it's been in years past. But this week, we have about 3 or 4 really good ones, but 2 of them are on a Thursday night, so that makes it kind of odd. But hopefully I won't have anything to do Thursday night so I can watch these. But anyways, let's get going. We'll start Tuesday night, Bowling Green at Miami, Ohio. Going with my boys from Bowling Green. Miami, Ohio is still winless on the season. Bowling Green should go in there and get a big win, 35-10. Next we have Ohio at Buffalo. And this is actually a very hard game to pick. I mean, two teams are really dominating the MAC right now. Both teams, I'm pretty sure, are undefeated in the MAC, if I'm not mistaken. I know Buffalo is. Ohio is 3-1 in the MAC with 1 loss to Central Michigan. I don't know. Both teams can put up some points. Ohio has my boy Tyler Tettleton at quarterback, very good quarterback, but I think I'm going to have to go with Buffalo. Playing at home. Their only 2 losses on the season is to Louisville, I believe, and Louisville and Ohio State. If I'm not no, Baylor. It was Baylor. My bad. Baylor. Baylor actually destroyed them. That's what Baylor does. But this Buffalo team can score some points. I'm going to go with Buffalo in a close one, 35-32 over Ohio. Next, we have Central Michigan at Ball State. It's the Ball State team that has 1 loss on the season, and that was to North Texas by a touchdown. If not, they're probably in the top 20 right now, and they are getting some votes. I think they're 31st in the country right now. AP poll wise, I could be a little off there, but they're getting votes in the top 25 poll. If they can win a couple weeks, win this week, I think they play Northern Illinois next week, which is probably Northern Illinois' biggest game of the season. If Northern Illinois probably really wishes Ball State would have won that game against North Texas, so they would have a ranked win on their schedule. But unfortunately, they're not. But anyways, Ball State, Keith Winney's a really good quarterback. They can put up some points. They should have no problem with Central Michigan, especially playing at home. I'll go Ball State in a big victory, 42-20 over Central Michigan. And here we go. It's time for the 2 biggest games of the week. You know what? Let's start out easy here. We have on Thursday night, we have Troy at Louisiana-Lafayette. Louisiana-Lafayette's also another team getting votes in the top 25 poll. Actually, a very good Louisiana-Lafayette team. They are probably the favorite to win the Sun Belt right now. They're actually undefeated in the Sun Belt. They have 2 losses right now to 2 FBS level teams, Arkansas and Kansas State, but their quarterback, Terrence Broadway, is an absolute beast. Watch out for him. He's a good quarterback, to say the least. But they should have no problem. Troy can score some points as well. They have 2 really good quarterbacks that they rotate, Corey Robinson and another guy who is a very, very fast quarterback. But I think Louisiana-Lafayette, better overall team. They win in about a 10-point game. I will go... let's go 42-30. That's what I'll go. I'm trying to see what these okay, it's showing me the I was looking on the TV screen the footage of Gary Kubiak's heart attack or whatever ended up happening to him, but yeah, losing Lafayette 42-30 over Troy. Next, here we go. Number 10, Oklahoma at number 6, Baylor. I think Oklahoma is a very good team. I think they've gotten a lot better down the stretch. But I still don't really understand how they're ranked so high right now. They have played close in a good bit of their games, and their only loss right now is to, well, I mean, I can understand an argument. Texas beating them down pretty bad, but why isn't Texas ranked now? They've done very good since their last loss. Texas is what I think undefeated in the Big 12 right now. They're still not ranked. I think it's kind of stupid, but regardless, I don't think this Oklahoma team should be ranked this high. But regardless, they have a shot to prove everybody wrong this week. A good defense in Oklahoma, but they're missing a lot of their star players. Their starting fullback who plays numerous roles, Trey Millard, something like that. He is out for the season. And a bunch of guys banged up, so Baylor's going to be playing a decimated Oklahoma team. This is a Baylor team that I think is for real. They are scoring so many points. I know it's not been against the best competition, but like I say, as long as you go undefeated, can win a lot of games, you're going to gain confidence, and that confidence can bring you. It's limitless. And they've been playing good defense, good solid defense, and insane offense. Playing at home under the lights, probably going to be their biggest game of the season. Or you could say that if Texas is still undefeated when they play Texas later on, that could be the biggest game of the season. But I believe they're ready to prove against a decimated Oklahoma team that they are for real, and I think they get a win, which will really help them in the standings. I think if they win this game, they could possibly jump Stanford, even if Stanford beats Oregon. That's debatable, but I mean it's a possibility, unlikely, but a possibility. But I will go Baylor. Bryce Petty's so good, Lachey Seastrunk so good. The wide receivers that they have are amazing, and just a good team, a really good team, good solid team, both sides of the football. So I'm gonna go Baylor by 10. 45 to 35. Baylor over Oklahoma. All right, next we have number 3 Oregon at number 5 Stanford. Man, I don't think Oregon can lose. There's no way you can pick against Oregon right now. Yes, they lost to Stanford last season. Yes, Stanford's a team that slows them up. Yes, I don't think Oregon scores more than. I think they score somewhere in the 30s. They don't score as many as they usually do in this one. But I just don't see it happening. Stanford, yeah, they're a good team. They've had a couple injuries. I still believe Kevin Hogan's a very, very good quarterback. Without Stephon Taylor, he's gone to the NFL. The new running back stepped in. He's looking pretty good, but not as good as Stephon Taylor. Good overall, solid defense. They have one loss in the season. Obviously, that was to Utah earlier on. That's a good Utah team that people need to watch out for. It's, I think, has a shot, a slim shot, but a shot to beat Oregon. But man, I can't pick against Oregon. As much as I want Stanford to win this game, I don't see it happening. I think they keep it close. I mean, defense is if you can play solid defense, you can play close against anybody. But Oregon's defense has improved. Marcus Mariota might be, I think, is the front runner for the Heisman right now. If I had a vote, I'd probably pick Marcus Mariota or Mike Evans. Still don't understand why he's not in the Heisman discussion, but I think I'm gonna go Oregon. D'Anthony Thomas is supposedly healthy now. Played last week or the week before last. They're coming off a bye week. That's another one. I think Stanford had a bye week as well. So both teams healthy, rested up. Under the lights Thursday night. Anything can happen on a Thursday night, especially on ESPN in prime time. But Oregon by a touchdown, 35 to 28 over Stanford. Friday night we have Louisville at Connecticut. Connecticut, one of the worst, if not the worst, team in FBS football right now. Well, might be the worst out of all the FBS level of the BCS automatic qualifier conferences. I know there's probably some non-BCS teams that are worse than them, but they're undefeated. Undefeated. What the frick? The opposite of undefeated, winless right now. Hasn't really put up a fight against anybody this season, except Michigan, which would have been a crazy upset. But Louisville, no problem. Their defense should come up big this game, hold Connecticut to minimum points. Teddy Bridgewater should light up the Connecticut defense. So Louisville, big, 45 to. Let's make it a little odd score. Let's go 47 to 47 to 17. This one, Louisville over Connecticut. Next, we have Air Force, who got their second one of the season last week against Army, against New Mexico, who's also 2-6 on the season. Both teams have been struggling for the most part, but this is a New Mexico team that runs the triple option under Bob Davie, who used to be a commentator for ESPN 2 years ago, and he'd been for a while up to that point. But I think momentum is going Air Force's way. Playing at night, anything can happen at night. But like I said, I think Air Force. This will be a battle of triple option. Both teams run the triple option. But I think this is gonna go. Air Force's way. Momentum is in their favor. Both teams are winless right now in the Mountain West Conference. But I'm gonna go Air Force. Momentum. 28 to 24. Against over New Mexico. All right, next game up, we have going into the Saturday games. Florida State at Wake Forest. No shot. No shot for Wake Forest. I would love for a team like Wake Forest to come out and shock the country, which I think, I don't know, I wouldn't be surprised if Florida State struggles after coming off the win. Like I said, emotional win, stuff like that. Well, didn't really come down to the wire, but I mean, after all the hype, I think they could be overlooking a Wake Forest team, which is without their best player, Michael Campanaro. They were shut out last week against Syracuse. They just couldn't get anything going last week, but Florida State, no problem. Florida State blew them out last season. They'll probably do the same again. So I'm going to go Florida State. They could score in the 50s. I'll go Florida State 52, Wake Forest. I don't even know if they'll score a touchdown. I'll give Wake 7 somehow, but I'll go 52-7 Florida State over Wake Forest. Next, we have Missouri at Kentucky. It should be no problem. Kentucky's been a team that's really still struggling. I do think they're ready to make a turn, to start improving a little bit year after year. I think Mark Stoops is recruiting well enough to do so. They did get the win against the mighty Alabama State Hornets last week, but Missouri, they're playing very well. James Franklin might be back for this game, but regardless, Matty Mock's been looking very, very good, so Missouri should win big. I'll go 38-17 Missouri over Kentucky. Next, we have Auburn at Tennessee, and this was the Tennessee team that just got absolutely blown out by Missouri. I think, if I'm not mistaken, let me tell you the last 2 games combined for Tennessee. They've lost the last 2 games. After beating South Carolina, they've lost their last 2 games by a combined spread of 76-13. And that's not too impressive. But, I mean, this is a Tennessee team which has shown life and shown that they can compete against the South Carolinas and Georgias, and they've got a good win. They got a good win in my South Alabama Jaguars. You can see my shirt. Almost beat them. That would have been freaking awesome. I do want to say this real quick though. I can talk about them a bit later, but I do want to say something about South Alabama. Are they off this week? Huh. I think they are off this week. Okay, I might as well give them some love real quick. Real quick before I talk about this game, South Alabama has lost 5 games this season. They're 3-5. They've lost 3 games by 1 point. The other one by 2 points. And the last one to Tennessee by 7 points, and they were at the 7-yard line as time expired. They could have very easily tied the game. That's 5 games they've lost by a combined 12 points. This South Alabama team very easily could be undefeated right now. I think 4 of those I guess you can call every single game they played this season came down to the last drive. Whether it be a team converting a 4th and 24 to win the game, or kicking a 50-yard field goal, or losing on a field goal to Southern Utah. They've lost, or coming 7 yards short against Tennessee. They've lost. Oh, it's so aggravating. This could be the year they could. If South Alabama's undefeated right now, they could be ranked in the top 20, especially with a win over an SEC team in Tennessee. And if that happened, they could possibly go to a BCS Bowl. How awesome as a student would it have been to be a student at a school like South Alabama that's been at a FBS level. This is the first season they're actually eligible for a bowl game. They could have made a BCS bowl game if they would have got the breaks go their way. But they have lost 5 games by a combined 12 points, all on last drive. So it sucks. It really does suck. But I mean, you got to be proud of them for competing the level they have. And they're such a young program. They didn't start playing actual football until 2009, and they're already in the Sun Belt Conference, going for eligible for bowl games. So when I say 2009, that's the first year they had a season. They played an inaugural season, played like JUCOs. So this is the first full season they played an actual FBS level schedule. Eligible for last year, they played an FBS schedule, but they're more eligible for a Sun Belt championship or a bowl game. This is the first year they are. So, but okay, let's get back to Auburn and Tennessee. I think Tennessee, for some reason, I feel like they can compete in this one. I think Tennessee, maybe in the first half, it stays within a touchdown or so. because we saw Arkansas had some success running football against Auburn, and Nick Marshall really didn't get anything going throwing the football, but they ran the football really, really well against Arkansas. But I think eventually, second half, Auburn will wear out the Tennessee defense. They'll pick up the pace, do whatever they have to do to run the football effectively, and they should win by at least 17 points. And they should pull away in the second half by at least 17 points. So I'll go Auburn, 42 to 24 over Tennessee. I don't know, 21. Let's say 42 to 21, a 21-point game. 42-21 Auburn over Tennessee. All right, next we have Kansas State at Texas Tech, and a Texas Tech team which is really came down to earth. They were up ranked number 10, and they had a disappointing loss to Oklahoma, which could have propelled them into the top 10. Then they come out last week and spotted Oklahoma State. 24 points, came back, and then they made some mistakes and ended up losing by a couple touchdowns. But this is a Kansas State team that wants revenge and wants to be able to solidify themselves as a team that's improving, because it hasn't been such a great year for Kansas State. They're 4-4 right now, coming off 2 pretty big wins, and I have a feeling they can come out and win against Texas Tech. Texas Tech's down 2 losses in a row. They're going to try to regroup. Yes, they're playing at home, but I have a feeling Kansas State sneaks into Lubbock, gets a win. Whoever plays quarterback, Jake Waters, Daniel Sams. Daniel Sams is actually like top 10 in the country, I think, pass proficiency, something like that. That stat was like, wow, where did he come from? I mean, I know not putting up the most insane stats, but I was looking at the NCAA stats, and I saw that. I'm like, what? Where did this come from? But so apparently he's doing something right. I'm not sure if passing proficiency was his stat, but it was some stat like that, some important quarterback stat, maybe quarterback rating, and it blew me away. But anyways, I think they'll do enough to beat Texas Tech. Kind of sleepwalking there, get a win. I expect Texas Tech to be extremely down after 2 losses. Everybody in the country is doubting them now, saying that they were pretenders. I don't think they're pretenders, but I think they're just. I think Kansas State they'll be sleepwalking in this one. I think Kansas State can sneak up and get a victory. I'll go Kansas State 34-31 over Texas Tech in a close one. All right, we have Vanderbilt at Florida, and Florida almost came back last week against Georgia. That would have been a comeback for the ages. That game was an absolute blowout, and they come out of nowhere and almost come back to win. But I mean, Florida right now is a team that's battling for a bowl berth. I mean, they have 4 games left: Vanderbilt, South Carolina, an FCS program, and Florida State, obviously. I think most Florida fans expect to lose to South Carolina and Florida State. Maybe can pull one of those out, but I mean, Southern's obviously a win, so that puts them at 5 wins. But this Vanderbilt game is extremely important for bowl implications. If they don't win this game, you can pretty much say they're out of the BCS. I mean, out of a bowl game. It's as simple as that. And can Vanderbilt win this game? I think so. I think Florida's just like Texas Tech's going to be down. They really have nothing to play for. I think this Will Muschamp's time is really running it's running out. It's running out. With the way Florida fan base is, I wouldn't expect this to be the full stadium. Much like Texas Tech, Florida could just be sleepwalking in this one, and Vanderbilt has everything in the world. A Vanderbilt team will get hyped up for Florida, no matter how bad Florida's been playing. Vanderbilt will be ready, hyped up, and they will win this game, I believe. And no matter who plays quarterback, I'm not sure if Austin Carter-Samuels is back or not, but they're coming off a bye week. They're going to be ready. If they can beat Florida, you can pretty much guarantee they make a bowl game. Vanderbilt could very easily win their last 4 games. They have Florida, Kentucky, Tennessee, Wake Forest. It's 4 easy wins, and I think they make a bowl game once again. I think they'll be ready off a bye week. Florida's down after a loss. Give me Vanderbilt in this one by a touchdown. I'll go 28-21 Vanderbilt over Florida. All right, next we have TCU at Iowa State. Iowa State's just not competitive this year in the Big 12. Blown out last week by Kansas State. I believe they're 1-7 right now. Yep, they are 1-7, winless in the Big 12. It'll be a matchup for the ages in a couple weeks when they take on Kansas to see which team does not go winless in the Big 12. But TCU, they've struggled this season. They've had their fair share of bright moments, but they're looking average, and that's really unheard of a Gary Patterson team. They're 3-6 right now. They have to win out to make a bowl game, and I think they would get the win against Iowa State. But they just have not been impressive whatsoever. They really don't have an identity on offense. They're kind of switching between Trevon Boykin and Casey Pahal. Last week they were up big against West Virginia at home, and West Virginia comes roaring back and loses and beats them in overtime. So this is just a TCU team that's looking for an identity, and that's not a good thing at week 11 of the season. So fully expect TCU to go in there, struggle with Iowa State, but not enough for Iowa State to get the win. So I got TCU by 10 points, 30-20 over Iowa State. Next, we have Penn State at Minnesota. And this is a Minnesota team that's looking mighty impressive. 7-2 right now. If Minnesota can win out, they could potentially be 10-2 to end the season. That's amazing. But unlikely, very unlikely with the schedule they have ahead. Penn State, Wisconsin, Michigan State. They're truly going to be tested in the weeks to come, and that's an understatement. But can they beat Penn State? I think so. I think they really can. Penn State, for the most part, it's been impressive. They won last week against Illinois. The week before that, they were absolutely blown out by Ohio State. But I mean, they have a couple bright spots this season, and they would be bowl eligible if they win this one. But they can't make a bowl game. That's obvious. But I think Minnesota has everything to play for. The momentum's going their way. They've been looking pretty good ever since their interim head coach has taken over. They're rolling. They're running the ball very well. Philip Nelson's actually looking pretty good. Rashid Hageman's one of the most underrated and unheard of best linemen in the country. Coming in, he'll probably be top 15 pick in the draft, maybe at least a first rounder. But I think they go into this game's actually at home for them. I think they run the ball very well. Penn State's known to be this season a little suspectable against the run. I think they run their way to a victory over the Nittany Lions and get a close win. I'll go 28-24 Minnesota over Penn State. Leads them to their 8th win of the season, which is a very good season for Minnesota. So congrats to them. But you never know. You never know what can happen. Penn State can come out and Christian Hackenberg can have a big game. He's a very talented quarterback. All right, next we have UAB at Marshall. Pick a Marshall, pretty big here. Raheem Kiddo is a great quarterback. He could seriously, he's undersized a little bit, but he puts up some insane stats. He's very efficient, and he could be a steal for somebody late in the draft this season. Fully expect him to get drafted and get a shot with the NFL team. He's very, very impressive. And this is a UAB team that's really not been relevant at all in the past decade, really. I'm not even sure they might have not made a bowl game in the past 10 seasons. I'm not real sure. But Marshall, by at least 3 touchdowns. I'll go 45-17 Marshall over UAB in a big victory. Next, we have Western Kentucky at Army. And the only thing I have to look at to pick Western Kentucky in this game is the fact that Western Kentucky's played Navy this season, gave Navy their first loss of the season, held Navy to 9 points actually. And this is a Navy team that scored 28 points against a Notre Dame team, which is really talented on defense. Western Kentucky held them to 9, and they were playing at Navy too, or were they? I could be mistaken. They might have been playing at Western Kentucky. Yep, my fault. They were playing at Navy, and my bad. They held them to 7 points. I actually got that one wrong too. But and you look at that because which team is better, Army or Navy? Obviously, it's Navy. So why pick Western Kentucky, Army over Western Kentucky? Western Kentucky already beat the better version of Army. So Western Kentucky by Army always plays in those weird scoring games, which I find interesting. But I'll go 23-10 Western Kentucky over Army. Next we have SMU at Cincinnati. Old June Jones and that run and shoot offense, which I love. I wish he would have never left Hawaii. Hawaii, the program used to be unique. But it's not anymore, and I think it started with the change of the uniforms. The uniforms look horrible now. The uniforms, Colt Brennan days, looked freaking awesome. They were so sick, and I don't know why they changed them. Now they're the Rainbow Warriors. That the program's just completely lost its luster and lost its uniqueness. which I hate because I was so obsessed with Hawaii back in those days. But now it's just completely lost its luster, and maybe that's why June Jones left. But anyways, this is a SMU team that can put points on the board. But on the flip side of that, their defense is nothing special whatsoever. I mean, simple as that, really. I think Cincinnati has a very good quarterback in Brendan Kay, a solid offense, a solid defense in Tommy Tuberville. Actually 11th in the country right now, giving up only 18 points a game. They're actually scoring 34 points a game under Brendan Kay. And this sucks, though, but Munchie Legault is actually injured. Hopefully, what is Munchie Legault? Is he a junior or senior? Hopefully, he'll be able to medical redshirt. I think he should be able to, and come back next season. But like I said, this is a Cincinnati team that's really been rolling. Only one loss one loss right now in the AAC. I think they should get a big victory here over SMU. They should score a lot of points. This will be a high-scoring game. Maybe I shouldn't have said a big victory. I say about a 10-point game. I will go. Man, it's so hard predicting like a SMU score. I'll go 50-40. 50-40 Cincinnati over. I don't know though. I think Cincinnati's defense can hold them to. What is SMU averaging, like 35, 40 points a game, something like that? Only 32. Wow, that's kind of surprising. Let's go 45 to 30. Cincinnati over SMU. All right, Iowa at Purdue. Purdue, man, has been horrible this season. I thought Purdue was a team that could surprise some people with how weak the Big Ten was going to be, and they're looking god awful. 1-7 on the season. Their only win has came against Indiana State. Indiana State, only by 6 points. They are scoring 11.5 points per game. They've been shut out their last two. In the game before that, they scored 7. Giving up 38 a game. Iowa is going to blow them out. I mean, this is an Iowa team that's not going to lay down easy. They're actually, it's a solid Iowa team. So, a big win for Iowa in this one. I expect them to win huge. I'll go 38-7. Maybe even, I don't know why I'm saying 7. That's spotting them 7, really. I don't know how they can score 7. But I'll give them 7 somehow, some way. Don't like predicting shutouts. It's like impossible to predict. But I'll go Iowa. What did I say before? Let's go 31-7. 31-7 Iowa over Purdue. Next we have Arkansas at Ole Miss. Ole Miss, I think, is the win. It's the Arkansas team that can run the football, and Ole Miss isn't amazing at stopping the run, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Arkansas have some success running the football, but Ole Miss in that offense is going to be too much, kind of similar to the Arkansas-Auburn game. Bo Wallace and that offense should put up enough points to beat Arkansas. I'll go 38-20 Ole Miss over Arkansas. Next we have Appalachian State, who will next year be in the Sun Belt Conference, which is awesome. But they're struggling this season. I don't know what happened to them. Jerry Moore ended up retiring, and they don't have a DeAndre Presley or a Monty Edwards anymore. And they're 2-7 right now, which is unheard of. I mean, they've been like the powerhouse. It sucks now that they are struggling. They're going to move to the Sun Belt. They should have moved the FBS when they had the opportunity. But as I say that, I want to see where DeAndre Presley is. DeAndre Presley is he's an American football cornerback. He's a cornerback with the Panthers? What the heck? He played. What's up with the Panthers drafting players from Appalachian State and changing their position? Come on, man. He played quarterback at Appalachian State. So did Armani Edwards. Armani Edwards is a wide receiver now. DeAndre Presley's a corner. What's up with that, man? Come on. I want to see these guys get a shot at it. They're two very good quarterbacks, but they don't have a DeAndre Presley or a Armani Edwards, so don't expect him to be able to do anything against Georgia. Georgia should roll over Appalachian State easily. Georgia Southern is 2-6 too. What is up with these other two teams that usually are in the FCS playoffs? Georgia Southern is actually 4-4. But what the heck, man? That's very unlike those two programs to be doing that bad. That's man. But anyways, Georgia just big, no doubt about it. 52-10 over Appalachian State. I don't know. Virginia at North Carolina. Virginia has been one of the least impressive teams in the ACC. I thought maybe this could be the year they could be kind of impressive and shock some people, but it's it's been the exact opposite. They just have been playing absolutely terrible offensively and defensively. They've just been looking very bad, and it's kind of weird to say because they have 2 wins in the season. And the first one came against BYU, and that's a very good BYU team. I don't know what the frick happened there, but North Carolina, I believe, with their offense. North Carolina's, I can't go without mentioning, North Carolina struggled as well. Very surprising how much they've struggled this season, especially offensively. They've been able to, they've been getting stopped really offensively a lot more than what I've expected. Bryn Renner coming to the season, I thought was a very underrated quarterback, and for him to be playing like this, really, I mean, it's not all his fault, really, but to be playing, to not lead North Carolina to a successful season in his senior year, that's how good he is. That really surprised me, but they have enough offensive firepower, definitely, without a doubt in my mind, to beat Virginia, and they could backdoor their way into a bowl game, and they have 4 games left. Virginia, Old Dominion has 2 wins. So they have to split one of Pitt and Duke to make a bowl game, which I think is possible. So they could very easily back their way into a bowl game. But hey, Duke's not an easy win, man. They're Duke. If they can win out, they win 10 games. That's crazy. If they can win 4 of their last 5 and win their bowl game, that gives Duke 10-win season. I think if that happens, David Cutcliffe should win the Coach of the Year award. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, next we have Western Michigan at Eastern Michigan, the battle of the directional Michigan schools, and both are bad. Both are very, very bad to say the least. 2 of the worst teams, I think, in all FBS. Both teams are 1-8, so you can expect about 5 people at this game. Eastern Michigan draws, I think, one of the least amount of fans at a game. I'm not sure how they haven't got moved down to FCS. Let me just find one for example. They played Ohio a couple weeks ago. Let's see if I can go to their box score, and it shows me their attendance for the game. Let's see here, box score. I would not be surprised if it's under 5,000. 3,257. See that? How are they still FBS? I mean, I don't like putting programs down like that, but you gotta abide by the rules sometimes, and I thought that was a rule you had to maintain an average of 15,000 fans a game, or you get put on probation or something. But anyways, because they're playing in front of maybe 5, since I guess this is a rivalry, since it's a rivalry game, I would guess 5,000 fans would be there, but that's nothing. That's absolutely nothing. My former high school probably gets more than that, but Western Michigan, I think will get the win because Eastern Michigan's been actually one of the worst FBS level teams for a long time, and Western Michigan's actually had some success, so they have to have some talent there. I don't think Eastern Michigan has much at all, but both teams aren't scoring a lot, to say the least. But Eastern Michigan does have a win. And Western Michigan has a win in conference play. Eastern Michigan's undefeated, winless in conference play. Their only win came against Howard. Both teams scored under 20 points a game, so expect this to be a low-scoring game. But I'll go Western Michigan, 14-10 over Eastern Michigan. It's crazy how much time I waste talking on games like that when I don't know too much about it. All right, Tulane at UTSA. UTSA, man, they've actually been quite impressive the last couple of weeks. They've been putting up some points, and they're on a roll. Won 2 in a row. They blew out Tulsa, blew out UAB. So I know Tulane has a talented quarterback in Nick Montana and a couple talented wide receivers. They've actually been having a pretty decent season. They're actually bowl eligible right now, but I expect UTSA to win at home. I really do. Tulane's coming off a loss against Florida Atlantic, which is a very not impressive team. that his coach just got resigned due to allegations of him smoking pot and snorting cocaine. So Tulane, for UTSA, I think wins this one off of momentum, 30-27 over Tulane. Next, we have USC at Cal, and USC, they've been looking very impressive lately. Very surprised at how well they've done after Lane Kiffin's been fired. And I guess that's really just a testimony on how good of a coach and how good of a job that Ed Orgeron's done there as interim head coach at USC. And I'm not a fan of the guy for some reason. Just he rubs me the wrong way. But ever since he coached at Ole Miss, I never really liked him. But you can't deny that he's done a great job there at USC, and I expect them to keep rolling. Cody Sessler's been looking very good. He's actually been impressive the last couple weeks. He's getting the bone rolling, looking where he was expected to look earlier on in the season. A Cal defense, which is not good. Cal still 1 win on the season, and they're putting up some passing yards though. Their quarterback, their young freshman quarterback, has been putting up a lot of yards throwing the football. Actually, they're 8th in the country throwing the football. Wow, 350 yards a game. It's what's his name? Jared Goff, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Jared Goff, yes, Jared Goff. He's a true freshman, thrown for about 3,000 yards already. That's crazy, but I don't think they can put up enough points to beat USC. They have a 1 win right now. If they won this game, I'd be very surprised. So I think USC's defense gets it done, and USC can score enough points against that not impressive Cal defense. So I'll go USC, 34-17 over Cal. Next, we have Mississippi State at Texas A&M. No problem here for Texas A&M. Mississippi State's just not looking too good. They competed with South Carolina for the first quarter, and then South Carolina ran away with it. I watched that game. Dak Prescott did not look impressive. I still don't understand why Tyler Russell hasn't been playing. I know he's been injured, but I still think he should be ready to go. But A&M should run away with it in this one. Johnny Manziel should have another big game. Mike Evans is unstoppable for anybody, so A&M by at least 24 points. I'll go A&M 45-20 over Mississippi State. Next, we have actually a very good under-the-radar game, which I'm actually going to have to catch because this is actually a very good game. BYU at number 24 Wisconsin. And this game, I believe, is a battle of two teams with best, probably actually two of the top 20 teams in the country, good-wise, talent-wise, whatever you want to call it. Two programs that's been improving, looking very good. BYU has 2 losses on the season, if I'm not mistaken, and they were the first 3 weeks of the season. They won 5 in a row against some pretty good teams. Lost to Virginia, which I think was a total fluke. Don't know how that happened. They blew out Texas Rain for 500 yards that game. That was insane. Lost to their rival Utah, which surprised me, but it turned out Utah was pretty good. They beat a pretty good Middle Tennessee team, a good Utah State team, a decent Georgia Tech team, a Houston team who nobody knows how good it is, but how good they are, but have been, who I think is pretty good, and of course, a pretty good, solid Boise State team. So we really don't know what to expect, really. One of my favorite wide receivers from my school is out for the season. That sucks, but man, I think this is a really good game. 2 good defenses, 2 running attacks, which are impressive. But I think I have to give it to Wisconsin at home. Both quarterbacks are impressive too. Taysom Hill and Joel Stave have been good. So hard to pick, man. I think the only factor here is home field advantage. I think both teams are extremely even, and I'm gonna give the edge to Wisconsin. I'm gonna give the edge to Wisconsin by 3 points. I'll go 27-24 Wisconsin over BYU. I think the difference in this game is depth at the running back position. That's the only thing I can think of here, because both teams have very good defensive players. BYU's front 7 led by Kyle Van Noy, who will probably be a top first-round pick in the draft. Chris Borland, one of the best linebackers in the country from Wisconsin. So it's going to be tough, but whatever team has the best and most depth at the running back position, which I think is obviously Wisconsin, Melvin Gordon, James Brown, etc. So, did I say James Brown? What the frick's his name? The second stringer. And they also have a very good freshman running back. They call it the three-headed monster, Wisconsin. James White, not James Brown. Frick, my bad. Two very good running backs. They're approaching 1,000 yards each in the season. But I'm going to go Wisconsin 27-24 over BYU. Next, we have Nevada, Colorado State. I think Nevada will win this one. I think Jim McElwain has Colorado State the right direction, but Nevada, Cody Fajardo, very impressive actually. They can run the football really well. Colorado State plays sound, efficient, just play in general. Their quarterback limits mistakes. They run the ball and limit turnovers, but I mean, I know New Mexico State's. Nevada's been struggling, but they can run the football. And I think Colorado State will run into some trouble with Nevada, and I go Nevada by a touchdown, 38-31 over Colorado State. Man, how long has this video been going on? 40 minutes. Gosh, I gotta hurry up, man. I got a paper to write. Illinois at Indiana. Two teams which can put up some points, really. Two highly efficient offenses, but I'm going to go with Indiana. They've been playing a little bit better than Illinois. I think Indiana's bowl eligible now, or this could have them bowl eligible. No, wow. Indiana's 3-5? Whoa. That's a shocker. But you gotta keep in mind, this is an Indiana team. I know this might not sound impressive to everybody, but this is an Indiana team that put up 28 points on Michigan State. And Michigan State can really play some good defense. So that's impressive. That's where I look at, and that shows they're good against good defenses. So I think Indiana actually, in the rest of the regular season, has the best shot to really upset Ohio State. I don't think Michigan has a shot. That's not counting whoever they play in the Big Ten title games. That's probably going to be Michigan State. We'll have to see then. But the rest of the season, I think Indiana gave Ohio State a run for their money last year. I think the same will happen this year. But Illinois, also a good offense, but I think I'm going to go with Indiana home field advantage. Scoring a lot of points. I think Illinois scores a lot of points too. In this game specifically. So I'm going to go Indiana, high-scoring game, 52-45 over Illinois, because Illinois and Indiana don't have the most impressive defenses. I think Indiana actually probably has the worst defense out of the two, but I think their offense really overrides that in this one. 52-45, Indiana over Illinois. Next, we have Syracuse at Maryland. Maryland's actually a team that's been up and down the season, same as for Syracuse. Syracuse, 1 week is shut out by Georgia Tech, loses 45-0. Next week, come out and win 13-0 against Wake Forest. So that's both teams really going up and down this season. Maryland's off 2 straight losses, coming out actually off of bye weeks. They're gonna be ready, rested. Syracuse played it. Wow. Please don't tell me I just accidentally ended my recording. Please, I'm gonna cry. Okay, still going on. Wow, I just hit my laptop. I thought I accidentally clicked the end button. But Maryland over Syracuse off the bye week at home. Good quarterback in C.J. Brown. Good wide receiver in Stephon Diggs. Gets the win over Syracuse. 32-21 in this one. Next, we have Nebraska at Michigan. Man, Nebraska had to pull a win out of their butt last week. Last second Hail Mary. And I'm actually kind of rooting for Nebraska to lose. Not because I have anything against the program. It's because I had so many people hate on me in my Big Ten prediction video. I had Nebraska losing 4 games, and people were saying that's probably the most hate I've ever gotten on YouTube is from Nebraska fans from that video for saying they had 4 losses. We're gonna have 4 losses this season. They were calling me idiot, and a bunch of different things, a bunch of bad things. You might want to go look at that video and see how ignorant the Nebraska fans were against me. But I like Nebraska, just not the fans that commented on that video. But I think they win this game. I think they do. I really dislike Bo Pelini. I think it's the norm with Nebraska fans. I don't think any Nebraska fan is a fan of Bo Pelini anymore after everything he's done the last year or so. But Michigan can score points. I think they'll be able to score points in that Nebraska defense. But I think Nebraska goes into Michigan and gets the win. I go Nebraska, Taylor Martinez, and that offense. Michigan's defense. Michigan's been playing very bad. They were lucky. They're lucky to be over 500 right now. They played a bunch of close games against some bad schools, which really made people wonder how good is this team actually. I mean, they've only lost 2 games, but I mean, you gotta think about it. Well, I'm kind of contradicting myself here. I mean, a win's a win. I mean, if you win a game, more power to you. It doesn't really affect me one of 2 ways. It didn't really affect me if a team like Michigan beats Akron by only 4 points. But I mean, if they keep winning, hey, I mean, nothing against them. But if they start losing, you got to think back to that, and you're like, is this team actually that good, even though they won those games? So I think they've been a little exposed the last couple of weeks. I mean, they gave up 47 points to Indiana, like I said before. So I think Nebraska no problem should get this victory by at least 2 touchdowns. I'll go 42 to 27. 42 to 27 Nebraska over Michigan. I don't know though, frick. I think Michigan scores more points than 27. Let's go 34. 42 to 34. Nebraska over Michigan. Boston College at New Mexico State. What the heck? Why is Boston College going to New Mexico State? But anyways, Boston College has been extremely impressive this season. Very underrated. They've lost a couple. They played close against some good teams. Heck, Boston College played close against Clemson. Probably, I think they've had the closest game that Florida State's played all season. I think they ended up losing that game by 2 touchdowns. They're 2 games away from being bowl eligible, which rightfully so. Which I think they could very easily win the last 4 games. And Boston College, I think, actually have predicted them winning 4 games this season. So, I mean, for 8 games this season. So that makes me look kind of smart there. But I think they win, no problem. I don't need to use a lot of time on this one. They should win big. I'll go 45 to 14 Boston College over New Mexico State. God, I have so many things. Paper to do, life to live, and I have so many games left. Okay, I'm going to try to go a little bit faster here. UTEP at North Texas. North Texas can put up some points. UTEP is bad. So North Texas big, 45 to 20 over UTEP. Navy, Hawaii at Navy. Hawaii's equally as bad as UTEP. And I already mentioned this earlier. I hate it because I used to be such a big fan of Hawaii. I still like Hawaii, but their uniqueness is just dropped off the map completely with all the changes, the change of offense. I mean, I think I've said this before. If you're a team like Hawaii, don't get the best talent. As hard as it is, it's the real world. You have to be fluky if you're a team like Hawaii and want to be competitive and be in the national stage. I mean, it's just how it is. You can't play like Alabama and expect to win against Alabama if you don't have the players that Alabama has. I know they're not playing Alabama, but that's just a good analogy there. You can't expect to play like everybody else in the country if they have better talent than you and expect to win. You have to do something different, like they did with Colt Brennan in the June Jones offense. And North Chalice came in there and I think really just destroyed the program completely. Just the Rainbow Warriors. Just everything about the program's just gone downhill. The uniforms suck, but Navy looked very impressive last week. I know that emotional loss could pull in here, so make it a little closer game. I had to think about that there. Emotional losses always, or emotional wins, come into my predictions one way or the other. But Navy by at least 10 points. Navy 24 to 13 over Hawaii. Next we have Tulsa at East Carolina. And Tulsa, man, they've been one of the biggest shockers of the season. How bad they've played. They're 2-6 on the season. This is a team that generally is one of the better teams in this USA. And I think I might have jinxed them in my preseason video because I was talking about how good they usually are from year to year. They have the lowest attendance rate out of all the FBS programs. I mean, they have like 3,000 or 2,000, the high 2,000s enrollment rate, and that's crazy to be that good traditionally for Tulsa and have that view of students, I guess. But I think maybe not this year, but in the following years they'll pull it together and they'll get back to where they were. But East Carolina puts up a lot of points. Shane Carden is his name, the quarterback. He's very, very good. They have some weapons on that team. So let's go East Carolina in this one by 2 touchdowns, 34-20 over Tulsa. Kansas at Oklahoma State. As much as I want Kansas to improve, with the way that they're doing, they just aren't going to be able to do it. I don't think Charlie Weiss is the answer, and if he is the answer, he's got to stop doing what he's doing. Kansas, it's kind of like Hawaii. You can't expect to be physical and not get the players that Texas does, and be able to beat Texas or Oklahoma or whoever. You just can't do it. It's not going to work. You got to throw the football. You got to be fluky. Until you start getting the good players, start getting good, you just can't do it. And they're scoring 13 points a game. It's pathetic. They're running the ball too much, but it's understandable. I guess they don't have the best talent at quarterback right now. I thought Jake Heaps was going to be good and lead them to at least 4 wins, but it's not going to happen. Oklahoma State's too good in this one. Oklahoma State's going to win once again over Kansas. Kansas is still looking for that first Big 12 win in the last 3 years, so Oklahoma State, pretty big in this one. Man, very big. They're going to score. They're kind of like comparable to Oregon in these kind of games. They're close against media. It's kind of not as ridiculous with Oklahoma State, but as it is with Oregon. But against teams like Kansas, the lower tier teams, they'll blow them out by a lot. And then getting to the average team starts to get a little bit closer. With Oregon, if you're average, you're going to get blown out by 40 points. Doesn't matter. Then when you play good teams like Stanford, you either lose or play really close. But with that said, Oklahoma State big, very big, 52-10. You heard me, 52-10 over Kansas. Arizona State at Utah, and this is actually another tough one because Arizona State's a team that is good. They're good, but you got on the flip side, it's the Utah team, which is very good. Utah is a team that's been performing well, or been playing their best in their hardest games. You had the UCLA game. It came down to the last drive, and they barely lost that game when their quarterback threw 6 picks. They beat Stanford. They beat a good Oregon State team, or lost to a good Oregon State team. They beat BYU. It's just they play bad in bad games, but they play good and play good in hard games. So it's like they play their competition, I guess you could say. So with that said, these next 2 weeks, I fully expect them to be competitive against Arizona State and Oregon, and it's kind of crazy because that's their only Pac-12 win in the season against Stanford. So that's crazy, but I do think Travis Wilson is a good quarterback. He's kind of spotty. Throwing 6 picks in the game, yeah, he's kind of spotty, but the guy's only a sophomore, 6'6" 240, so I expect him to be pretty good the next couple of years in the the Pac-12. Sorry, but I don't know if you really can pick him in this game because he has been struggling. Looking at his stats really quick, in his last 4 games, he's thrown 11 picks. So you really can't rely on him to get things done. He's actually been a little injured, and they actually have been playing their second string quarterback a little bit these last couple games. But no matter who they play, I just expect them to be competitive, but especially playing at home. But I got to go Arizona State. Taylor Kelly, Marion Grice, good combination there on the opposite side of the football. Arizona State by a touchdown. I'll go 34-27 Arizona State over Utah. Next we have North Carolina State at Duke, and I gotta go with Duke, man. Duke's 6-2 right now. They're rolling. They're almost ranked. If Duke's ranked, man, that's an awesome year for college football. I love it. I love Duke. Not basketball wise, but football wise, you gotta pull for teams like Duke. But they got the bone rolling. They're looking very impressive. Like I said, they could potentially finish the season with 10 wins, and that would be awesome. And but I don't think North Carolina has enough to compete with Duke, and that's crazy to hear yourself say, but that's completely honest. They have a good quarterback there at Duke. North Carolina State kind of don't know what to do with the quarterback position. They have a ton of transfers right now. You have Jacoby Brissett from Florida, but I think he can't play till next season. And a couple other transfers that haven't really been getting the thing done. Brandon Mitchell from Arkansas has been the one starting, but he's not been looking too impressive. So I'm gonna go Duke. I'm gonna go Duke playing at home. Duke by 10, 30-20 over at North Carolina State. Next, Florida International at Middle Tennessee. Middle Tennessee can put up some points. Florida International can't. Florida International's been looking like one of the worst teams in the FBS right now. Very good quarterback there, Austin Grammer at Brick. Is that his name? I get the Austin Grammer is the backup. The first string is what's his name? It's gonna pop Logan Kilgore. My bad. I know Austin Grammer because our high school played him last year. Whatever, but he's the backup, which is he's good. But Logan Kilgore is also very good. So Middle Tennessee, no problem by 3 touchdowns. 45 to 20 over for International. Tennessee Martin at Memphis. Kind of crazy when you got to second guess yourself when you're picking a BCS level team against a FCS level team, but you gotta second guess yourself there because I mean Memphis is not the best team, and this is a UT Martin team that's not necessarily horrible in the FCS level. So you got to give them some credit and expect them to be at least competitive against Memphis. But I think Memphis wins by about 2 touchdowns. I got 28-14 Memphis over UT Martin. All right, next this video's been at least an hour, 56 minutes. I got a paper to write, guys. God, why do you gotta drag me on here? Old Dominion, Idaho. My boy Tyler Heineke's been scoring some points, man. He's been doing good this season. For the most part, been competitive in a lot of their games. They've been playing a couple times, but you got to expect that from an Old Dominion team, which is very, very young in the FBS. But they should beat an Idaho team, I believe, by a lot. A lot, to say the least. I'll go 45 to... I said 45. Frick, that number's been sticking with me. 48-27. Old Dominion over Idaho. Virginia Tech at Miami. 2 teams looking to bounce back after pretty bad losses. And this is actually going to be a fun game to watch before the Alabama LSU game. So I'll be able to watch this for an hour. But 2 teams that have dropped quite a bit. Miami's without Duke Johnson, and Virginia Tech's looking to rebound and to try to, if they can win this game, they very easily could make the ACC championship game. And I really do think that Virginia Tech, out of all the ACC teams, have the best shot at beating Florida State because of their defense. But their defense didn't look too good against Boston College last week. But regardless, I think Virginia Tech can win this one. I think Miami's trying to prove that they are for real, and I think I do think Miami's for real. I think they're a very good team, at least a top 15 team. But I think Virginia Tech's not as bad as they showed last week. I think their defense comes in, plays well. It's going to be a struggle for Miami without Duke Johnson. I just think Virginia Tech really just matches up well with Miami, so I'm going to go Virginia Tech. By a touchdown, 27-20 over Miami. They just match up really well with that defense. Alright, here's actually a very, very important game in the AAC. Houston at UCF. Houston's a team which is 1 point away from being undefeated. They have 1 loss to a very good BYU team, 47-46. And they have a good quarterback in John O'Corn. Their quarterback, who was supposed to start earlier on, got injured. This freshman, John O'Corn, stepped in, has an awesome name, and has looked impressive. Can they beat UCF? I don't know if I can go that far right now, but UCF is in for a dogfight. Really, this game could impact the BCS. It really could. If Houston can win this game, that'll be a 3-way tie in the. Well, actually, Houston would be leading the AAC. They're tied right now with UCF. So this game, if UCF wins this game, they are in first place in the AAC, and they play Louisville next week, and I think they would lose that one, and that would make a 3-way tie, and whoever's the highest ranked would be the one to make the BCS. But they're scoring a lot of points. They're looking impressive. But I expect UCF to win this one closer than some people would say, because I don't think people really understand how good Houston actually is. But I'll go UCF 38-31 over Houston. Texas at West Virginia. West Virginia's been picking up the slack. They've actually uh they're getting closer and closer to bowl eligibility. Can they do it? Maybe. They have to win at least. They have to win 2 of the last 3 games, but I think they can. Can they beat Texas? I'm not sure. It's really a toss-up. Their offense really has dropped off quite a bit this season. They haven't been able to throw the football or run the football, but they have a easy last 3 games. They can easily beat Kansas and Iowa State after they play Texas. But I think Texas will remain undefeated in the Big 12 and win this game. Whoever plays at quarterback, whether it be Case McCoy or David Ash, but I think it's going to be Case McCoy. But they've been playing good defense. They've been running the football, but playing very sound. So I think they beat West Virginia, who's been struggling, at night in Morgantown, which is a very crazy environment. From what I hear, it's one of the worst places to visit as a fan because the fans are not too friendly in Morgantown. But Texas with the victory by 10 points, 34-24 over West Virginia. Next we have Southern Miss at Louisiana Tech, 2 of the worst teams in the CUSA conference. And I can't pick again. I can't pick Southern Miss because they have lost almost 20 games in a row now. So I don't know what happened to Southern Miss. They were 2-3 years ago. They beat Houston. The Case Keenum led Houston, which just started for the Texans and had a pretty good game up until the 4th quarter. They beat that team, which took them out of the BCS bowl. So don't know what happened. Don't know what happened to Southern Miss. But they went from worst in USA to best in USA to worst in USA in like a season. Ellis Johnson just completely destroyed that program. But with that said, can't pick Southern Miss, so you're going to have to go Louisiana Tech. I'll go 24-13 Louisiana Tech over Southern Miss because Louisiana Tech hasn't been scoring many points themselves. But I'll spot them 23. What did I say? 24-14. Let's go 24-14 Louisiana Tech over Southern Miss. Arkansas State at Louisiana Monroe. I had to see Arkansas State play last week. I'm blending my words together now. That's what happens when you talk for an hour straight. But I got to see them play last week against my school, South Alabama. And to be honest with you, they didn't impress me. They didn't impress me one bit. They can't say they got lucky because they won, but it sucks because I have to say that because we've lost so many games at one point. It seems like we're cursed. But they didn't impress me. And Louisiana Monroe has back Colton Browning back. I thought he was out for the season, but he's not. He's actually back and playing very well. He's going to have the bone rolling. That offense is great with him at quarterback. It's very impressive. So I expect them to beat Arkansas State because Colton Browning is one of the most underrated players in the country. Colton Browning and Louisiana Monroe win by 2 touchdowns in this one. I fully expect it. 38-24 over Arkansas State. All right. There's a couple good games here. Let's go. Let's get the worst ones out of the way. Colorado at Washington. Expect Keith Price and that offense to rebound. They've lost, I want to say 3-4 games in a row. If they haven't won one, they beat Cal last week. My bad, but they lost 3 in a row, and I actually called. I think I predicted all 3 of those games, so proud of myself there. But beat Cal last week, the week before, they're coming off a bye week. They should have no problem against Colorado, who didn't lay down against UCLA. They actually looked kind of impressive against UCLA, but impressive for Colorado Seniors, which is getting better under their new head coach from San Jose State. But I think Washington, Keith Price, Bishop Sankey, Austin Safarian Jenkins, best tight end in the country, or second best, him or Eric Ebron from North Carolina, put Washington by at least 17, at least 30. I'll go 20, 37 to 17 by 20. Washington over Colorado. Utah State at UNLV. Utah State and Chucky Keaton will keep the ball rolling. They're beating a UNLV team which is not that great, even though Utah State's 4-1 in the Mountain One. I mean, they're 5-4 overall, 4-1 in the Mountain West Conference. So they've lost. I didn't expect them to do that bad this season. Chucky Keaton's actually been hurt a lot. Been spotty this season. He's been hurt, but they even without him, they should beat UNLV. I honestly don't know if he's still hurt or if he's been back for 4 weeks. I don't know, but regardless, I think they should win over UNLV pretty big. 34-17. UCLA at Arizona. Arizona has disappointed me so much. They barely beat. Who was it last week? Was it Colorado they barely beat, or somebody in the Pac-12 who was an impressive? Cal. It was Cal that they barely beat last weekend. They're 6-2 right now, but I told you if they could have if they could have won that game against Washington USC, they could have gone 8-0, and if they beat Washington USC, they're in the top 10 right now easily, very easily, and that's why I told you and was telling everybody that my complete off the radar national championship dark horse insane pick was Arizona, but they're still a solid team with a good running attack. BJ Dinker has struggled this season, but I expect them to play close against UCLA, but it's not about playing. It's not about playing close, according to head coach Jim Moore at UCLA. So UCLA has actually been struggling quite a bit the last couple weeks, playing close against teams they shouldn't have been playing close against, giving up more than 20-something points to Colorado. And if you're UCLA, you shouldn't be doing that, which is not a bad thing. They're still winning it. As long as you win, it doesn't matter. So UCLA, Brett Hundley, who I think has kind of dropped off the radar a little bit, but he should have a big game against Arizona defense, which isn't that great. So UCLA 42-30 over Arizona. Arizona can score some points, but UCLA will score more. Fresno State at Wyoming. This could be potentially a tough battle for Wyoming, but so could last week against Nevada. Wyoming and Nevada both had good quarterbacks. Wyoming has Brett Smith, who is actually one of the top in the country in all the statistical categories for a quarterback. Which, if you haven't looked up anything about Brett Smith on YouTube, he's impressive. Mountain West has some pretty good quarterbacks that nobody really hears of, but he's one of them. But Fresno State, with another good quarterback in Derek Carr, should have a big game against a not so great Wyoming defense. So Fresno State in a high-scoring game, I'll go 54-40 over Wyoming. San Diego State at San Jose State. Another one of the San Diego State at San Jose State. Here's another one of the good quarterbacks in the Mountain West you never hear of, David Fales, who actually could very easily be a top, maybe top 5 in the. What am I trying to say? He potentially could be a top first round pick in the draft at the quarterback position, maybe, or more realistically, second round. But you get the picture. He's a good quarterback, and he should have his way with San Diego State, who's kind of dropped off the radar as well. They made a bowl game last season, and they struggled the first couple weeks. I mean, I remember I had to look real quick, but they lost to Eastern Illinois week 1 of the season, 40-16. That's unacceptable for an FBS level program. But you gotta give them credit. They've kind of rebounded. They're 4-4 right now. They're 4-1 in the Mountain West Conference, so they found their way with a couple of the Mountain West teams. They've got better as the season has gone along. But I still expect San Jose State at home with that good quarterback in David Fales and a couple of really good wide receivers. Has a good platoon to throw to, but San Jose State should beat San Diego State by about 10 points. I'll go 40-30. San Jose State over San Diego State. All right, last 2 games. Thank the Lord. We'll go with the easier one first. Notre Dame at Pitt, and I think I don't know if I'm going to go ahead and say Pitt will win this game, but you gotta give them some credit because Pitt's a team that always plays very tough against Notre Dame. They almost beat Notre Dame last season, but it went to 5 overtimes, and a miracle happened for Notre Dame, and they won. But Pitt's been up and down this season. It all started with the first game against Florida State. Looked like they were gonna shock the country and beat Florida State week 1, but Florida State ended up throwing them out that week. Wow, it was crazy. But up and down season, which is involved a win over a very good Duke team. If Duke beats Pitt in this game, Pitt ended up winning 58-55. But if Pitt wins that game, Duke has 1 loss right now. That would be insane to fathom. But up and down season, it's involved the losses to Florida State, Virginia, Navy, and Georgia Tech. They're coming off 2 straight losses, so a team that's looking to rebound and grab a win that is much needed to make a bowl game. They have to win 2 out of Notre Dame, North Carolina, Syracuse, Miami. I think they split 2-2. I think they can make a bowl game. I wouldn't be too overly confident for them to win both at North Carolina and Syracuse, but I wouldn't be shocked either if they won one out of Notre Dame and Miami. So I think if you're betting on Pittsburgh to make a bowl game, I'd say about 50-50 that they will or not. But they're playing at home. I mean, when they're ever playing at home in prime time, anything can happen. As Notre Dame's shown, a team that struggled against Purdue. Who else? They lost to Michigan, didn't they? Yeah, they lost to Michigan by a good bit, if I'm not mistaken. Was it by 3 touchdowns? Lost to Michigan by. Oh wow, it was only 11 points. My fault. My fault completely. But this is still a Notre Dame team that's fighting for a BCS bowl berth. I mean, if they can win out the season, which I mean is against a couple good teams, Pitt's no walk in the park. BYU's pretty good, and Stanford's good. They could make a BCS bowl. But I think Notre Dame wins. I'm not confident whatsoever picking Pitt, but yeah, I'm gonna go Notre Dame by a touchdown, 28-21 over Pitt. All right, last but not least, about an hour and 10 minutes, I would say in. Oh, God, why are my videos so long? Why can't I make my videos shorter? That would be so convenient for my life. I got papers, 2 more videos to record, and a paper to write, and it's almost 12 o'clock at night. I'm not healthy. I'm not healthy. All right, last game. LSU at number 1 Alabama, which is number 13 LSU at number 1 Alabama. I think this is going to be the first year in a couple that we actually have our way with LSU. Game day is going to be there. It's all hyped up, but I think it's a lot. It's more hyped up just the sole fact that it's Alabama, LSU in the recent history, compared to actually this season and what's been going on this season. Some might say this is really our second tough opponent of the season, but I honestly don't see LSU to be that tough of an opponent. The defense isn't great. Zach Mettenberger, who was the bright spot early on, and really was the reason people started to turn towards LSU because of how great he was playing, and thought he was going to be the one to really help the team become better as the defense is trying to improve with no experience. And he's struggled the last couple of weeks, and that's not good for LSU, and it doesn't get any easier against Alabama. But you got to remember, last year, man, he's the one that lit up the Alabama defense, which was very surprising. But you got to take into consideration Venison series out. Both teams are coming off a bye week, so who knows what happens there. Last time, the home team has actually lost the last 2 or 3 beatings. They lost. Alabama won last year. LSU won the year before. Alabama won the year before. In LSU, and the year before that, which was 2010, Alabama won or lost. Alabama lost. I don't know. I think they lost. I think that was the last game that Alabama, the home team, has won. So this will break some recent history with the home team winning, but I think with the home team losing. But I think Alabama really easily can win this game. I'm not worried. I think this is really being way too hyped up. And I think the people that are expecting Alabama to lose this game and play close hasn't really watched how well we've played the last couple of weeks. I think everybody's basing our games base our team off the first couple of games of the season. No way. I mean, we have gotten so much better since those first couple of games. And the play as well we did the first couple of weeks with how bad we played. I mean, to win by as much as we did with how bad we played, this proves how good this team really is as a whole. We're just rolling. The defense LSU won't be able to stop our run or pass. I think I wouldn't be surprised for Mettenberger to have some big plays thrown the football here and there. But for the most part, they'll be shut down. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't score more. I'll be surprised if they scored more than 20 points. I would be. If we hold them in 10 to 17 range out, that's where I really expect them to be. But I predicted preseason that LSU would have 4 losses, or I think I might have even said 5, and that very easily could be the case. People were calling me insane. People were calling me crazy. But that very easily could be the case. A loss to Alabama, that gives them 3. Potentially lost to A&M, that gives them 4. A loss to Arkansas, that's potential. I mean, that's unlikely, but potential. And then a bowl game, and whoever knows, it matters. It depends who they get matched up against. But comes down to this game, I think Alabama has no problem. I would be willing to say, as far as I'll go 42-17 Alabama over LSU, and I'm not worried whatsoever. And it's gonna be a long week for me. I have a lot of stuff to do starting with tonight. It's 12 o'clock, and I have a paper to write, and 2 tests this week, and I gotta finish that paper by Friday. A long paper. College ain't no joke. It's gonna be a long week, but this weekend's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be worth it. So, hope you guys enjoyed my long video. I want to make these videos shorter. I don't know why I talk so much. I mean, this is not good for me because I have so much stuff to do. I'm so busy, and I make these videos unnecessarily unnecessarily long. So, if you have any type of advice for me, any type of suggestion for somehow these videos to be shorter, let me know, please. Because I'll do anything to make these videos shorter. I love making them, but I love talking and making them, but when it comes down to time management and these take so long, it's not good. I have a lot more to do. But regardless, let's stop making it longer and finish it there. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like if you did. If you disagree with any of my predictions, let me know in the comment section below. Leave a like if you haven't already. Please be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a like if you haven't already. Like I said, please be sure to leave your predictions in the comment section below, because I love interacting with everybody, unless it's hateful comments. I don't like that. But okay, I guess that's it. Until next time, Roll Tide, Go Sox, and the Titans to you. Have a great week, and that's it. Peace.